Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Watches TV, where I watch all the TV shows. I watch all the true crime. I'm getting ready to start watching Chimp Crazy tonight, and I'm going to do a review of Chimp Crazy, or reaction to Chimp Crazy. I watch all the true crime, all the reality TV, The Big Brother, The Bachelorette, all those shows. I've got so many videos listed down here to make. I was just going through my list. I have like 5 true crime videos, 5 reality show videos to do. I think with like the Real Housewives, I'm going to wait until the whole season's over. Dubai just had the first part of the reunion. I think Orange County ends in like 2 or 3 weeks, and so I'll probably wait until then, and then before the reunion, I'll probably do a video of that. But anyway, I watch all the reality TV. I watch all the trending shows on all the shows I watched. I watched the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, better known as Mormon Mean Girls. And today I'm going to talk about Sister Wives, because I have finished, since the last video that I did, I have finished season 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Last night I finished, and now I'm on season 15, okay? And I am working really, really hard. I need some lip gloss. I need some lip gloss for this video. I am working really, really hard because Sunday, well, it's interesting because Stacy that watches my videos, she let me know that that they won't have it on until Monday, like on streaming services. But on Sunday, Sister Wives, the premiere of season 19 comes out. So I am trying to binge watch the hell out of these shows before. I can't. They're driving me crazy. Coyote Pass. I don't get, this is the thing, okay? This is the thing. So I'm assuming that the majority of you that are watching this video right now have already watched Sister Wives up to where we're at right now. Okay. So I just started watching it a couple months ago, right? Now I'm down to the wire. I've got to finish, I think I've got 2 episodes of season 15, and then I've got 16, 17, and 18. Now, I have to tell you, I've been waiting for these final 3 seasons because I heard that's where all the action is, okay? It's where all the wives leave and the divorces happen. And now, okay, but this is the thing. I've also read all the articles. I've, looked up all the wives on Instagram, all the kids. I know all the news. I know all the gossip, the allegations. I know all of it, okay? And so, nothing's really that surprising to me. And everybody was like, wait till they get in the lockdown, because that's when Cody kind of loses his mind. And this is the season of the lockdown, season 15, and Cody is literally losing his mind. His hairdo's changing too, but he's also losing his mind. But I have to tell you, what I thought this show would be when I very first started it, on episode 1, is totally not what it is at all. And I do want to say one thing about this show, as crazy as this show is, that for those of you that don't know, our dog has been really sick in the last week. He's fine. We went to the vet this morning. He's doing fantastic. Well, he's asleep right now next to me, but he's doing fantastic, and we were really worried about him. This last week, I've been so worried about him, and so I have had my iPad set up, when I'm uploading videos and doing stuff downstairs, and having that on in the background, it's like old comfort shows of mine. Roseanne was always a comfort show of mine for years and years and years. I've literally seen every episode of Roseanne. I could win any trivia contest about Roseanne. I know everything about Roseanne. I've probably seen every episode probably 20 times. So what was interesting was when I was watching Sister Wives, I know that Sister Wives is chaotic and problematic and all that kind of stuff, but as I'm watching it, it was very much a comfort show to me. You know, there were a lot of moments where they're just sitting around eating or having a holiday that were very, very wholesome to me, and I love that aspect of the show. I think that's part of what pulls somebody into watching Sister Wives, because the first couple of seasons are very much that, right? It's most of the kids are younger, and they're having, all of these, dinners and celebrations. As it gets older, what's interesting is, I wrote it down on here where you can really see, I think it's season 13. Hold on a second. It's when you can really start that, notice that Cody is really, really, really getting more controlling. It's interesting because, I have always heard all this about Cody being really controlling. He either does a really good job hiding it, or it's in the edit, because up until about season 12 or 13, it's when they're getting ready to move to Flagstaff. You don't really see a lot about Cody's controlling ways until that moment when he is trying to convince the wives that this is the best time to sell the houses and they're going to get the most money, the most bang for their buck on these houses, so they've got to move. And he really wants to move back to Utah, but Utah's not safe for them to move back to, so they're going to go to Flagstaff, Arizona instead. Then they get to Flagstaff. They're all in rentals, which these rentals were, I mean, they were ginormous. I can't imagine, like, that first rental that Mary had and the rental that Robin had was like 6,800 square feet. And they're like talking about, I mean, Robin is good to pick up a good blouse from Ross's. Okay, I don't know why she needed some modern rental. You know, Mary had a full going down the stairs. She had an elevator. I mean, I didn't understand why they needed these rentals, to be honest with you. I mean, Mary had like a 5-bedroom rental and she's living by herself. It made no sense. I don't know how much, and I know because people keep on sending it to me, and she still works for him today. And yes, I've seen the documentary, and it was baffling to me that this woman works for him, but she still is a rep for LulaRoe. Now, if you haven't seen the documentary on LulaRoe's the leggings, okay? If you've never watched the documentary about the unbelievability of what LulaRoe and that company is, it's trash, okay? That company is trash, and Mary works for it. That's where she makes the most of her money. It's a pyramid scheme. It's a what do you call it? It's a multi-level marketing program, and that's where Mary makes a lot of her money, okay, is off of selling these leggings that back in the day my girlfriends all had to have. Oh my God, you have the Halloween one with the pumpkins? I have the Halloween one with the pumpkins. I mean, it was like that, right? Until I watched the documentary, and then, you know, some gal's got them sitting in her garage, and they're molding from the wetness because they weren't packaged. I mean, the whole thing, it's so weird. So anyway, maybe that's how she's got all this money, okay? But they moved to Flagstaff, Arizona to buy this land, which is called Coyote Pass, and then Cody... So he convinces all the wives to do that, okay? Now, none of the wives really want to move to Arizona. And he's like, no, this is when we have to do it. I mean, like, he pushes and pushes and pushes. They very much in the show kind of, like, make it look like he presents it and then they kind of just are convinced. But if you go back and, like, you watch it like I'm watching it, like, as fast as I am, none of the wives want to do it. In fact, Janelle's like, I'm not pulling my kids out of school. Then the next episode, she's like, well, I guess we're going to move to Arizona and the kids are okay with it. I'm like, what happened in between there? Because you don't show it in the show. So there must have been some really hardcore conversation between Janelle and Cody where Cody was like, you're going to move. That's exactly what you're going to do. Because Janelle was like, I'm not moving the kids. I'm not doing it. Then he gets to Arizona and he has spent 6 months developing this. I mean, it's the way that this man's mind works is just unbelievable to me. He spends 6 months coming up with like contractors and like builders coming up with this plan for this house and presents it to the family and never once talks to the wives or the kids or anything about whether they want to move into one house or not. And of course, Christine doesn't want to move into the house. So of course, they're not going to build the house. And we know now that they never build the house. They're now building 4 different houses. I don't know if those houses, I'm not there. I think they were built. And then Janelle and Cody ended up owning the land. And then they ended up just selling the land recently. And now Cody and Robin are selling their like $1 million house in Flagstaff, Arizona. And people are saying that Robin and Cody's marriage is like in trouble. Like, yeah, my cousin watches everything about it. And she said, did you hear that Robin and Cody are getting divorced? She told me that yesterday. I said, I saw they're selling their house. Are they getting divorced? Did y'all see the pictures of that house? Oh, ma'am, Did you see it before they bought the house? What you need to do, okay? And I don't like when people tell me what I need to do, but I'm going to tell you what you need to do is you need to go look at Cody and Robin Brown's house before they moved into it and what the fuck she did to that bedroom afterwards, okay? Because that bedroom is like purple royalty madness vomited all over the place, okay? Robin Brown... There are a lot of jobs that you could probably be very, very good at, okay, Sob and Robin, but there's probably one job that you should probably cross off your resume for the rest of your life, and that's interior decorator, okay, because you done F that house. That house is grody, okay, that house is grody to the max. That house is disgusting the way that y'all, and you know, all these pictures are now coming out, not just of her house, but of Christine's house and Janelle's house, that there's just constant trash sitting everywhere. Like Robin's house, it's like, girl, do you not clean ever? Do you never clean your house? There's always just junk sitting around all these people's houses. And furthermore, I just want to say this, okay? I'm buying a set of washcloths for each of these women and a bar of soap because they need to wash their damn feet, okay? None of them, and you know what? And Robin, she's moving out of a rental in the season I was just watching, 14, and she says to Cody, don't come in here with your feet, you're going to get dirt everywhere. And now I know why they all got dirty feet, because any of them wear shoes in the house, but Cody comes in there and tracks his dirt all over the place, just like he tracks it from one wife to the next, right? So I don't really know. I took notes and all this. Y'all want to hear my notes? I mean, where do you want me to start? Okay, I'm on season, if I go back to season 10, there was like a dinner, Logan and Michelle. I like that Michelle. Now, Logan done married her, but I'm not at that season yet. But I like Logan and Michelle. Logan seems like the most, I don't know. Logan seems like the most, I don't know, reality-based, realistic person. And I like Michelle, his girlfriend. Right now. So if something comes out about him, I don't know anything about him. Madison, and they have this dinner with Madison and Caleb. I think it might be when they're in Hawaii, maybe. No, they go to Hawaii later. But I like Madison and Caleb, too. I really like that Caleb. And Cody really likes Caleb. Because when they moved to Flagstaff, and Caleb and Madison have to go back, Cody doesn't cry about his daughter leaving. He doesn't cry about his grandson leaving. He cries hugging Cody, or hugging Caleb. That was weird to me. I was kind of surprised I hadn't heard more about that, okay? That he gets so upset about his son-in-law leaving. He's like, oh my God, oh my God. But he is not upset about his daughter leaving at all. But you're upset about your son-in-law leaving? Okay. But anyway, then Robin's baby is born. I can't remember her name is. Ariella Mae Judy Smith Johnson. I don't know what her name is, okay? They've got so many damn kids. Then Mary's doing these special paintings. This is what's so killing to me about this, okay? Is that every season is like this. There's always something. Like, people are like, oh, they're not done with the Sister Wife's Closet jewelry. I haven't heard anything about it in 3 seasons. So, if they aren't done talking about it, then it's going to come back up. But except for when Mary was wanting to buy, I almost called it a boarding house. When Mary was wanting to buy a whorehouse, when Mary was wanting to buy her great-grandma's house, well, she did buy it, her great-grandma's house, and then move her mom in there to run a bed breakfast. We'll get to this in just a second. But she sat in there, and Robin goes, but Mary, we've always done everything collectively, and all the money that we've earned goes back into the family. This was one of my favorite moments of the show the entire time I've been watching it. And Mary looks at her and she goes, or Robin looks at her and goes, Mary, everything that I've ever earned off of Sister Wife's Closet goes right back into the family, Mary. And Mary looks right at her and goes, I'm still waiting to see that money. Girl, you couldn't give away that ugly clod of shit. That is the ugliest shit. That Sister Wife's Closet jewelry is ugly. And yes, I was thinking about wearing it. Exclusively buying it. You can't buy it anymore. I was thinking, well, you can add it to your cart, but it won't let you check out. And it is expensive. That shit's expensive, okay? I saw that Cody Brown is selling cameos. I don't mind that. I have cameos, too. But for $150 because him and Robin are so broke. I want to know where Cody Brown spends his time when he is not with his kids or his 4 wives. Because he don't spend a whole lot of time with any of them. Who's he off? Is he effing his hair? That's his 5th wife, is his hairdo. Is he off effing his hair? I'm like, what are you doing, Cody Brown? I'm confused. Okay, so anyway, I was going to make a bad joke. But then they go, okay, so Mary does these paintings. And I thought this was sweet, okay? Because let's just be honest. And I like Mary. I know that all these accusations have come out about Mary. And I've read into all that kind of stuff. But like at this point in the show, I like Mary. I'll be honest with you, Mary's my favorite. At this point in the show, okay? Later, I'll comment about that stuff. But like, Mary does these paintings, okay? And let's just be honest. She can't paint to save her life, okay? I mean, like, don't ever let anybody be a dream killer, but, like, it's not like she's gonna have a gallery showing of these paintings, okay? And I think she knows it, too, right? Because she don't ever paint again. We don't ever hear about the painting. She's all into the painting. She's buying easels and paint and all this kind of stuff. She's got a painting teacher and all this kind of stuff. And she paints these 5 pictures, okay? 4 pictures, one for each wife, and each one's a tree with their 322 kids on represented as trees in each of these pictures. Oh, Mary! It's like Christine's like, oh, Mary! I feel like Christine should have doubled as somebody on Little House on the Prairie. She's like, oh, holy hell! Oh, the Smarty Pants! Oh, Mr. Serious Pants! Oh, holy hell! Oh, Mary! I'm sorry! That Christine, which will drive me up the wall. They want to talk about how, I mean, Janelle has fallen asleep in every episode, okay? They want to come down so hard on Mary, and people call her Sobbing Robin, okay? Well, I think that Robin, I mean, now I know later in the episodes I'm getting ready to watch that she's a mess, but, I mean, her mind's in the right place most of the time, okay? You know? And I mean, Cody Brown's mind's always on his abs and his ass. He's always talking about what a great ab and ass he has. I'm like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. I don't know what the wives are. They're like, I mean, for me, the visual of any of these wives, okay, just grabbing Cody Brown's ass and just spreading those cheeks apart is too much for me. I don't need to go there, okay? I just don't need to go there. But anyway, Christine wears me thin, okay? She wears me thin. And it's something that she does when she talks. It's like, when she confronted Mary, okay, well, we'll get to that in just a second. So that was that. Mary gives them the paintings, and Christine she loves all that. Okay. And then McKelty talks to Christine about getting married. Well, we don't, here's one of the rules of Sister Wives. Don't give McKelty very much attention, because Cody don't really care about McKelty. So McKelty gets married to, what's her husband's name? I can't remember his name now. Starts with a P. What's his name? Tony. Tony and McKelty get married. I loved their wedding, by the way. Their wedding was the most exciting wedding on Sister Wives history. And I loved their wedding so much. But I was really kind of hoping... Do you remember when they did that ceremony dedication to those family rules? They spent 2 seasons coming up with their family motto and rules. Well, what are we going to do if you have a 5th wife? Well, what should be the rule? And they're fighting over these rules. And they did that whole celebration. Do you remember that? Do you remember that when they did the whole celebration, they had them all printed out, they looked like crap and all that kind of stuff, and they were going to go from house to house to house. They ain't talked about them rules since. They ain't mentioned those rules since. Cody Brown wishes he would never marry Mary. He don't care about those family values. They spent a whole season fucking wasting our time, okay, with that family set of rules that they don't give a shit about. But one thing I did love about that ceremony was that McKelty wore this black hat to that thing. I was like, girl, that was when she wanted to be a fashion designer for 2 seconds. Remember when McKelty wanted to be a fashion designer for 2 seconds? But anyway, that was when McKelty wanted to be a fashion designer. She wore that top hat, that black hat. I was kind of hoping she'd wear that to her wedding, but she did. So anyway, where am I at? Okay. So, season 11, my first question was, has he stopped spending every 4th night at every person's house? But then I found out later in the season that Mary told him she don't want him to stay there anymore. Because they're not in love with each other, but they're there for the family. None of this shit makes any sense to me, okay? Then Tony asks Cody for McKelty's hand in marriage, and Cody's like, well, I know y'all want to fuck. This is basically what he says. I know y'all want to fuck, but, you're going to do it on my timeline, not yours. And Tony's like, no, I'm going to get married when I want to get married. Tony's the first person that challenged Cody in 11 seasons, and I lived for it. I lived for the fact that Tony challenged Cody, because Cody couldn't handle it. And then Cody-Mary conversation. Mary asked Cody not to stay at the house. Okay. And then Janelle and Mary, okay, they're going to therapy now. I love them going to therapy. And by the season that I'm at, in 15, they're kind of getting along pretty well. But the therapist asked them to drive together somewhere and listen to this, like, self-help tape about vulnerability, and they're not either one of them willing to do that. And I'm like, y'all hate each other so much that you're not willing to sit in a car ride together for somebody for 20 minutes and listen to a vulnerability tape? You don't even have to say anything to each other. They are so weird. All these sister wives, they are so weird to each other. I mean, you spend all your life together, but then it's like, first of all, it's so weird to me, like this concept, okay? Like, they won't talk to each other about their relationships with Cody out of respect for each other, okay? But then, if they're not getting along with Cody, it affects their relationships with each other. So the other 3 are talking about, like, Mary not getting along with Cody, right? Okay. But y'all know, because you got 42 kids with this man, that they all fucked him. Y'all know that, okay? You women all know that you all are fucking this man. Well, I don't think anybody's fucking him except for Cody Brown. I don't think Cody Brown's fucking Cody Brown. I don't think anybody's fucking him except for Robin Brown, and she's worn out. They just went and saw a bunch of... They're always visiting polygamists on the show. And they just went and saw some other polygamists. And he says something about, well, I don't know if I'm done having kids yet. And she's like, he thinks he has a vagina or something like that. And he don't have no vagina. I'm the one that's got the vagina. I'm the one that's going to have these kids. And that's basically what she says. And she's like, looks like she's so worn out because, my God, if she don't get a rental house... Listen, I have been sober. Okay, I have been sober for 29 and a half years, okay? I have had my fair share, probably in the hundreds of friends of mine, okay, that have gone in and out of halfway houses, rental homes, apartments, can't find places to live, on and on and on. You'd have thought that Robin Brown not finding the perfect fucking rental home was gonna, like, send her to her early grave, okay? But what about a rental home? I was like, shut up about a rental home. And then he's like, oh my God, but we gotta buy, we know. And she's like, I just don't see any value in that. I'm like, we're literally spending 4 episodes talking about Robin and this fucking rental home. I'm sorry, I'm swearing so much. I'm so over hearing about these rental homes. They're stupid. Which is why Christine was smart enough to know to go buy her own home when she got there. But anyway, so Janelle and Mary hate each other, so they're in therapy. Everybody's in therapy. That therapist, she must have bankrolled on that family. I'm just going to say that right now. Okay, and then Tony and McKelty get engaged. But then Cody has to pay for the honeymoon. But they don't really ever show them going on a honeymoon, so I don't know what that honeymoon was like. They go to Tell City, Indiana. I mean, what, anyway. And then, okay, and wait, and then, but they had to postpone their wedding. Oh, that was a big issue because Tony and McKelty wanted to get married, but they wanted to get married 2 months after Madison and Caleb got married. But Madison and Caleb were Cody and everybody else's favorites. So McKelty had to wait because Madison's everybody's favorite. That's the truth. I mean, that's just what the real deal was. So she had to wait until December, but she already knew because she threw out a date, December 17th, and I know that because that's my sobriety birthday. Then they played the newlywed game. Okay, that's what I got written down here. Then season 12, whoo. That's when McKelty's doing her wedding planning and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And then Mary wanted to buy the bed and breakfast. And I'm like, oh, she done painting now? She done painting by numbers? Is that over? I'm done. Okay. So then Mary says, I'm a social media retailer for a clothing line. I'm like, oh yeah, LulaRoe. Them stinky ass, those stinky ass, what do you call them? Leggings and stuff like that. Okay. And then Janelle says, they're having this whole conversation. Okay, this episode was probably the episode out of all the seasons that drove me the craziest. Is when Mary wants to buy this house. And Cody says that they have the money for the house, okay? But then he says that they don't have the money for the house. So she's like, well, I'll just get the money for myself, okay? And I'll buy the house. But then she gets the money for herself, and she's going to buy the money for herself, but then they still want to tell her what to do with her fucking bed and breakfast. They're like, well, what you need to do with your bed and breakfast is this, and how much equity are we going to have in this business and all this kind of shit. And that's when Robin throws out, well, we're all equal partners, and Mary's like, girl, I ain't seen $1 from that ugly-ass jewelry, okay? You want to sit there and throw that out there, that ugly-ass sister-wives jewelry? None of us have seen $1 from that, okay? But they all want in on this bed and breakfast, probably because they can't wait to get the fuck away from Cody Brown and his fifth wife's hairdo. They can't wait to get away from him, right? So they have this conversation, and Janelle says, hold on a second, where's it at? Why are we having this conversation about buying this house for your mom? She says. And Mary just looks like a sad kid in this. I mean, she does, right? And then, this is when I said I was hoping that McKelty would wear the black hat from season 5, or 5 seasons ago in that ceremony. But, then they do the March on Washington, and then the Liberty Walk, and I just have like brief notes about all this kind of stuff. And then in therapy, Cody says that there's been about a good 10 years where they're talking about having a baby. Oh no, he says that he hadn't been in love with Mary for a good 10 years. I'm like, well, you were just 3 seasons ago talking about her wanting to have another baby, and Robin was going to have a baby for you. So you weren't in love with her when you wanted her to have a baby for you. But now in season 15, you say that the only reason that you would kiss or make love to a wife is if you loved her, okay? Well, I don't know how you have kids, okay, touching somebody's thigh with your greasy hands, but you got to do it to have a baby, okay, Cody Brown? And you should know that after having 642 kids, okay? So I don't know how you thought you were going to get Mary pregnant, okay, without doing it to her. That's probably what it feels like with Cody Brown. But doing it to her, okay, with his rock hard abs and his ass of buns of steel. I mean, he constantly is talking about them buns of steel. It's so gross, shaking his hair like this. And it's like, okay, and then you're going to get her pregnant without doing it to her? But you didn't love her for 10 years, all those years you wanted her to have a baby? So you're going to have this woman have a baby with you, then you didn't even love her? That's some shit right there, isn't it? Okay. Then Madison has her baby. This was this whole thing. Mary wasn't there. They all had their phones in their hands, but none of them text Mary, and it was miscommunication. But then Christine calls her over, and she goes, but Mary, we got to figure out a plan so that this doesn't happen to you again. And then Mary's like, well, why didn't you just text me? And then Christine goes, well, I would have texted you, but the reality is, I sometimes feel like you bring a lot of baggage into the room. Now, I know that Madison is part of these allegations that Mary has been abusive. So I understand that in retrospect. Okay, but at that time, Christine just didn't text Mary because she didn't want to. And now she's blaming it. This is what they do. All of them blame Mary for everything, okay? She just sits back there, and the 3 of those wives, they don't ever stand up for Mary. They are rude as shit to Mary, okay? If I were Mary, I'd have left that house a long time ago with my LulaRoe money. And then she said she wouldn't have had her at the Madison's birth because she brings baggage in with her. And I'm so confused because, like, it's on the footage. there's all this miscommunication, and the sister wives are making it all about something else, right? And Christine says she wants to make sure that Mary doesn't miss anything else, but then she also says that she didn't text her because she didn't feel safe with her being there. And this conversation is like so gaslighting. I mean, Christine in this moment is so gaslighting and manipulative to me. It's like unbelievable, right? And I'm so tired of hearing Christine say, I'm sorry, shut up. You don't mean it, okay? Like my dad used to say, sometimes sorry just means forget what I just did. Shut up about it. And the problem is that they can't talk to each other about their relationship with Cody. But then he told her that he doesn't want to be with her romantically, and that's affecting all the rest of them, but she can't talk about it. Okay. Then season 13, Mary isn't involved in the meeting about whether or not they're going to give her the money. Okay, so that's the first thing, right? They have this meeting about whether they're going to give Mary money, then they decide they're not going to give Mary the money, but she's not part of that meeting. Okay, when they always have all of them as part of the meeting. So that was so weird to me. And then that's where Robin says that, Sister Wives' money goes back into the family, and Mary says she hasn't seen any of that Sister Wives' money, closet money. And then it's the catfishing. Oh my God, I've been waiting for the catfishing forever. Oh my God, the catfishing. And then, I feel like I should end this with the catfishing. Should I do my video tomorrow about this? We'll do Sister Wives. So I'm going to start with the catfishing tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow, I'm going to start with the catfishing, and I will end wherever I'm at, because we are all leading up to Sunday for the premiere of the Sister Wives. So tomorrow, because the catfishing, I mean, that's a whole video on its own. So tomorrow, we'll start with the catfishing. I love you guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.